black. Too strong.
I'm not a fake, fraudulent commentator on television. See, I don't act. This is real.
Are you that stuck on stupid?
His black card is under review right now.
Roland, where are you this morning?
I'm in New York City last night. I did a panel at New York University with actress Arshini Ellis. You know, she's been fighting this Confederate flag in Mississippi, take down the flag. And so we had a great panel last night. And they're going to have a massive rally in Mississippi March 6th. So we'll have her on later talking about that effort, what they're trying to do to remove that Confederate flag in the state of Mississippi. But today I want to talk about education. So yesterday I was on a train coming to New York, and we get to New York, and my man Mario Armstrong, he and I were talking. He was on the train. I didn't realize it. Then Dr. Freeman Hrabowski was on the train. Of course, he is the president, University of Maryland, Baltimore County, and Mario congratulated him on all of these PhD graduates from there, outpacing places like Harvard and others. And I said, man, we got to talk about this here. But Doc is on the show this morning. Doc, first of all, thanks for being on the show and being a great alpha, man. You're doing a phenomenal job. You've been there 27 years.
Good morning. Good to be with you guys.
How long have you been there? 27 years as president?
This is my 26 years president. I've been on that campus at UMBC 30 years now.
Congratulations.
And, of course, your 50th year as an alpha. Okay, so, Doc,
that's right.
So tell the audience about, again, the number of black PhD candidates that you have, 2.5 times at Harvard and other universities?
Yeah, our particular statistic that stuns people is that we are the largest producer of African Americans who go on to get MD PhDs. Most people don't even know that term, MD PhDs. These are physician scientists. These are the people who become the faculty members and physicians at your teaching universities to prepare the next generation of teachers. And literally under 1% of the MD PhDs in the country are African Americans. So we are the number one producer. Harvard is number 2, but we actually produce 2 times as many, more than 2 times as many at the bachelor's level who go on to the major universities in the country to become these MD PhDs. We're also in the top 10 in producing PhDs in science and engineering. Many of the institutions in that top 10 are predominantly white. In fact, we're the only predominantly white institution in the top 10 in producing African Americans who earn PhDs in science and engineering.
What's your secret?
Caring. I said to you earlier, I learned what I learned from Hampton, from my beloved alma mater. My wife and I
learned a lot from an HBCU.
Yeah.
And that's what HBCUs do. They care.
It's a very nice story. Well, UMBC is an institution that looks like what America would look like. We are probably half and half, about 50% white. Others, we've got African Americans and Asians, Latinos, Native Americans. So it's a very multicultural place with students from 100 countries. But what makes the difference is that we've got a caring faculty and staff and students who are serious about that work. It takes a serious attitude. I have a TED Talk that talks about what it takes to make it in science. And the biggest issue is we are cutthroat in science in America. The fact is the majority of students of all races who begin with a major in science or engineering at the freshman year are wiped out. And so we even call in America, we call that first year of STEM weed out courses. And literally 2/3 of all Americans who start actually don't make it. So the key for us is to say no, that first year should not be a cutout or a period when you're wiping people out. You need to be nurturing them and supporting them. And my TED Talk talks about high expectations, getting faculty involved who are caring, building community among those students so they can help each other, and then it takes researchers to produce researchers.
Now, Tom, I am not a math fan, Tom. Tom, I'm not a math fan. I'm not a math fan, Tom. Doc swears had I had him as a teacher, I would have loved math. So Doc, what do you?
We got to teach our students we've got to teach our children to love mathematics and reading, quite frankly, because you cannot do a word problem if you cannot read well. So the humanities are important. The social sciences, but science and engineering. And so what we do that makes a difference is to say to our students of all types, if you're in the humanities and the social sciences, we want you to get some technology also because it helps with job possibilities. But if you're in science and engineering, you need to have that broad education. Nobody wants a doctor who does not care about people, who does not know how to work effectively with people of all types.
What are you doing with black men? You gave us a stat when we were off air about the number of black men on your campus, which is frankly a stunning number.
Sure. We have about 14,000 students in general, of whom about 11,000 are undergraduates, and about 2,000 of those are African Americans, and half of the black students on my campus are male, which is unheard of in America, given the challenge we face in getting black men into institutions and giving them support. And so it has everything to do with recognizing it is a challenge, making sure we're working with high schools and community colleges to attract these students, and then giving them the support they need to talk about the issues that they face. And so doing all those things and then making sure that you build community among students. I mean, the biggest part about what we do is that we have our students of all races working with children in Baltimore City and other places, learning what it means to say, of those to whom much is given, much is required. And to have those young black males and others working with little black boys and girls in the city really can help them to become more focused on their work themselves.
Is it tough getting in?
It is tough getting in, but we work with schools to help many more students get in. We are very focused on, like Lakeland Elementary in Baltimore City, and working with the children in math and reading to build those skills up, because we tend to say so often in our black community that standardized tests don't count. Well, they do count. You cannot become a teacher if you can't pass that standardized test. You cannot become a doctor. You can't become a lawyer. So we have to teach our students to do well on those standardized tests like the SAT. It's not that means that they have everything they need, but it does mean they have strong math and reading skills.
Doctor, I want to commend you for your books that you've been writing over the last 20 years and talking about beating the odds for black males and overcoming the odds for young black women and holding fast to your dreams. You're not just talking the talk, you're walking it and doing it and giving people information as well.
I appreciate that. That first book is still selling well on how you create an environment in that home, first of all, to help that boy, and then how to help that girl. Legos, for example, very important for little kids. Reading to them, letting them ask the questions. They need to be as curious as possible, and then building a book, Holding Fast to Dreams, really focuses on my growing up in Birmingham, being a part of the civil rights movement, going to jail at 12 with Dr. King, and how those experiences in that civil rights movement taught me the importance of building community among young people and a sense of self with a goal in mind. And that's that My Heart program at UMBC, but it's also the programs we have in the arts, in the humanities, and the social sciences. Building community among young people can help them to reach their goals.
One of the greatest presidents in the country, folks, Dr. Freeman Hrabowski, University of Maryland, Baltimore County. Folks, phenomenal job there. Doc, thank you so very much.
Thank you, and come and visit the campus. I promise you'll be inspired.
And maybe you can help us with our math skills.
UMBC, University of Maryland, Baltimore County.